1951, October 23rd. 1 month after my birthday. Well, although I wasn't born in 51.
Kimuras. Masahiko Kimura-sama versus Grandmaster Hélio Gracie. After 13 minutes of a fight that Kimura was so confident he would win, he said that if Gracie lasted 3 minutes with him, Gracie would be declared the winner. Gracie lasted 13 minutes, and then he was caught in the submission that now carries the name of Kimura-sama, the Kimura lock.
Kimura is the greatest fighter Japan ever produced. I think he was national champion about a dozen times. In 10 years, he was never off his feet. They say no one before Kimura, no one after.
Kimura arm lock, also called double wrist lock, also called the Gyaku ude-garami.
Gyaku ude-garami.
Nice. And my favorite is the chicken wing. I think there's a few versions of the chicken wing. It's an arm lock used in grappling sports, twisting torque to the shoulder. The humerus, also known as the funny bone, can be broken. And to me, this is like the most arm breaking move. With arm bars, you see a lot of dislocations, really ugly dislocations. But if you want actual bones breaking, this is the move.
And also good for control and sweeps.
Very good for control. Very good to threaten to get a guy to kind of back away. Gracie got his arm broken and did not submit. His brothers actually had to throw in the towel.
And this started a long tradition of Japanese men breaking the arms of Gracie's with the Kimura lock.
And also started the tradition of many people not tapping to Kimuras and getting their arms broken.
Yeah, just tap, guys. Come on. What are you doing, Minotauro?
When I had him in the Kimura, I remember once I had it slip to a certain angle, I'm like, okay, it's done. I have you. You could see me in the fight starting to look for her because I knew he's not going to tap. So as soon as the referee jumps in, I can let go of pressure. And I never in my wildest dreams imagined the Kimura, the hammerlock, could have destroyed his humerus that way. You know, spiral fractured, they had to put it back together with, Hélio.
And it's all over! Frank Mir has submitted Big Dog! Unbelievable!
Did he tap? I think he tapped.
He tapped after. He tapped after his arm was broken. And it was a gentle tap. It was like all right. It was like, okay, I'll tap.
Tap before your arm breaks, if in doubt.
On our Kimura injury journey, I came across this Reddit post. It says here, there's been a video circulating of my arm being snapped by a Kimura in competition. Just here to touch base and clear some misconceptions I saw in the comments. Check the pinned content for more information. I think this is useful because this is somebody taking responsibility for their action. So here is my man with ice all over his arm. Yikes. All down his bicep. And there he is being put on the gurney, the stretcher. They've cut off his sleeve of his rash guard. Some kind of gas there, arm exposed. And here is a picture of the fracture. Nasty looking break. And there it is from the back, right in the middle of his bicep. This happened about 24 hours ago. It is not my opponent's fault for going too hard. He caught a sub and I wasn't tapping. It's literally the point in the sport to make them quit. I didn't quit in time, so it's my fault. Shout out to this guy for taking responsibility because, there are some instances where a submission can be thrown on really fast and you don't have time, but mostly that's not the case. Mostly you have time. Why didn't I tap? To put simply, I was unaware of just how much pressure the Kimura put on the humerus. I thought it wasn't humerus. No. I thought it was a shoulder dislocation attack. I'm very flexible, and I was in barely any pain immediately prior to the snap. It didn't help that I was competing 20 pounds above my weight, as it was the lightest weight class available. Despite the shock, The pain was dreadful. I'd say 9 out of 10 at the worst moments. I could still feel the bones grinding together when I moved my arm. Tap early, folks. I'm sure you know better than me, haha. But seriously, had no clue my arm would snap. There was Michael Johnson versus Khabib. He had him in a nasty Kimura, and Khabib,
Kind of a gentleman.
about it. He didn't snap it all the way. He kind of
Because a Kimura can break in several different spots. And so I think it's always different. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe there's a technique to it. But the general idea is get the wrist to the spine and up towards the head. And that, I can already feel it here.
Stockton's finest, Nick Diaz versus Neer.
Only on
Nick Diaz has got a
video.ufc.com.
Kimura. He's got a Kimura. He's got a twist. He's in the perfect position. If he throws his leg over Josh Neer's head, Josh is in big trouble. Look for that left knee.
Trying
See
to
it
do
over
it.
the head? He's got it over there. He's twisting it back.
And
That's
it's
it. He
all
tapped.
over. And it's all
Fantastic.
Khabib on Michael Johnson, Matt Hughes versus Riggs, Rockhold versus Bosch, Chiesa versus Carlos, the natural born killer condit, Joe Lozon, pulls guard into Kimura,
Warburton's in all sorts of trouble.
Warburton just holding on.
He's gonna turn it inside. Very nicely done by
Carlos Newton versus Pete Spratt, Stephen Bonner, I think he has one, rest in peace.
And
That's
it's
it.
over.
That's it.
And it's all
Wow.
over. Submission victory for Stephen Bonner.
Jacare also versus Bosch, and Mighty Mouse on Chris Carriasso.
He's gonna tap.
Oh,
He's
not
tapping.
yet.
Oh, he was
Not
tapping,
yet.
Mike. Oh, bad. He better tap.
There
That's
it is. And it's all over. Demetrius Johnson defends his flyweight belt.
And the king, Sakuraba.
Wicked submission, a wicked move, wicked control. This is actually, you can actually create a whole system around the Kimura.
We're in full guard. We're in closed guard. I grab his wrist. If his hands are on my stomach, we go inside prayer hands to the outside and grab the wrist. I sit all the way up. I sit up more to connect our bodies, connect our elbows, and grab my own wrist. Double wrist lock. I got his wrist, I got my wrist. That's 2 wrists. Now I fall to my side, keeping him in my guard. Not a lazy guard, okay? If he passes, it'll be big problems for everybody. No more Kimura, now I'm in trouble. We're in closed guard, stay in closed guard. I got 2 wrists, I'm on my side. I put his hand on his spine and move his hand up his spine. It cannot go very far. There's lots of ways to use a rolling Kimura while passing. Here's one way. He's on his side, or on his back. I go to the side, step through for headquarters, grab a wrist. Before our Kimura, I always want to grab the wrist. Now I'm gonna roll through until my elbow gets to his elbow. I'm gonna stick his hand to his hip. I straighten my arm so it does not counter. I go belly down and I wait for him to move. If he does not move, I come up, head control. I pull his back up off the mat so that there's space for his hand to go here. I rip his hand up to make sure he's not keeping a grip or defending. Put his hand on his spine and up to his head. So this is like one of my favorite moves in the world. It looks like you need to be very strong to do it, but I disagree. It's all technique. So from half guard, I have a very deep half guard. My knee is to his knee. I put in a knee shield. Knee shield is knee to sternum. And I put in a butterfly hook. Okay, I call this butter half. Important detail, this knee tracks his sternum as he's putting pressure into me. From here, I can grab his wrist, and just like before, I sit all the way up, as high as I can, elbow to elbow, wrist to wrist. If you're doing this against new people, it's possible that you can just break it here. But if you're doing this against anybody who's been training a while, they'll be defending. They can grab their thigh, or they can grab their own hand It doesn't really matter, but we need this tension, okay? We need them trying to defend. From here, I'm gonna use my foot to kick as I straighten my arm. I put his hand deeper into his defense to create the tension to throw him over. So I go lift him up and over with straightened arms. From here, there's many ways this can go. If he turns that way, I follow, step around, and finish behind. We're in half guard. My knee is behind his knee. Knee shield is on his sternum, and my butterfly hook is in. This is a very strong position. I can be very straight here. He can put lots of pressure on me, and it's no problem. When I'm ready, I grab his wrist. I sit all the way up, elbow to elbow, wrist to wrist. If this guy's never trained before or he's brand new, sure, maybe you can finish here. But anybody who knows this will be defending. Grabbing his thigh or grabbing his hand, doesn't matter, but we need tension here. We need him being strong. We need him trying to defend himself. Now, I'm gonna straighten my arms, use my foot to lift, and throw him over my left shoulder. Very slowly, like this. Keep this straight, and now lots of reactions. One of them is he turns into me, and I follow. I run with my feet, come up on my shoulder, get a hook, take him to this side, switch my hands directly into a choke. So it's a variation on the classic. We're in half guard. I got the wrist, I got the elbow, I got my wrist. I use this to pass, and I'm coming over. I step around his head, and I'm having trouble getting this hand out. So you can clasp your hands. I'm having trouble. I can't quite get it out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up into a squat. Everybody will do this a little bit differently, depending on athleticism. But you gotta get this foot to the other side. Step over, fall back, and with all my weight, I'm kicking down and pulling out, and then sticking up to his spine, up to his head. Ultra Kimura.
You trying to kill him, huh?
Just stand up.